Nina Skero is Chief Executive of the Centre for Economics and Business Research and joins me now. Nina, what is the CEBR's assessment of the new UK energy plan?
It's definitely a pretty far-reaching and blunt tool. I think the words that we're hearing to describe the energy bill situation in the countries are words like emergency and crisis, which I think are right. And what we heard today is quite a far-reaching announcement. I think one could say that for some it'll go too far in terms of helping them with their bills, and for others it won't go far enough, because it is quite a blunt instrument, something that applies across the board to all households and also for the shorter duration to all businesses.
Nina, many ringing the alarm that this motion will saddle UK with debt for decades. Should we be concerned about that?
It's certainly a concern, and it is interesting that the government has essentially decided to borrow in order to fund this support. There was some discussion about the government providing guarantees, but that it would be the private sector taking on the debt. But it doesn't seem like that will be the case. So it seems it will be the government borrowing the money to fund this assistance. We don't know exactly the details of how this will be funded. That is going to be forthcoming next week when the new chancellor sets out his emergency budget for the country. As a part of that, he will be discussed how this will be funded and also other measures in place. Just how expensive this will be will depend quite a bit on what energy prices do in the coming 2 years that this assistance covers. But even on the lower end of the estimate is going to be quite an expensive set of aids. I believe the estimates at the moment that it could cost from somewhere around 120 billion to 200 billion over the 2 years. And just to put that number into context, that is roughly the equivalent of all borrowing in the 12 months to July. So it's quite a sizable figure.
Quite a sizable figure. I mean, let's speak about the impact of the cost of borrowing on the UK. How will that look in the future?
It does remain to be seen how markets are going to respond to this, how they're going to assess this level of borrowing from the UK. There isn't sort of a magic threshold above which markets become concerned with a government's level of borrowing. More important is how they judge the quality of that borrowing, or rather what is being done with that money. So there will be some questions about how much it will cost for the UK to borrow. But I think what we heard and what was implied in today's statement is that no matter what the wider implications of this are, this is a crisis of such proportion for households and businesses alike that there was really no other choice but to do something very drastic. And we will have to whatever falls out of this, we will have to deal with those repercussions. But there was just something very big needed to be done.
OK, Nina, many thanks. Nina Skero, Chief Executive of the Centre for Economics and Business Research.